Hey guys, Slimber here, and today I am back. I've been gone for a while. I had COVID for a minute, as you saw in my last video. So I haven't really done a video in a while. I've been streaming a lot on Twitch. You can go check that out, twitch.tv/SirSlimber. I've been uploading on my second channel, Sir Slimber, which is my stream highlights. But I haven't done YouTube in a minute, or at least on this channel. So I figure we'll come back. I was going to do a video on Matt Walsh, because he supported arranged marriage in a video. But looking for that on the Daily Wire's YouTube channel, I found this, and I figure we'll cover this. Maybe next week we'll cover Matt Walsh. We'll see. Anyway, let's get right into this, shall we?
In America, 2021 has been the year of the Great Resignation, otherwise known as the Big Quit.
The Great Resignation, that's what some experts are calling the growing trend of workers quitting or just changing careers.
All of a sudden, it seemed like everyone I know was changing jobs or stepping off the career ladder.
The number of Americans quitting their job is higher than ever.
In the second half of 2021, over 20 million Americans quit their jobs, creating the most significant quit rate since the government started tracking the data over 2 decades ago. And economists are calling this period the Great Resignation. Here's what you need to know. In a recent episode of 60 Minutes, LinkedIn's chief economist gave some insight into who exactly is exiting the workforce. She says that baby boomers are retiring early, but the majority of people participating in the Big Quit are Gen Z workers, people in their late teens and early 20s, and most of them are women.
We can see what sectors people are quitting: retail sectors and hospitality sectors. It may not just be worth it.
All right, so retail would be like your Walmart, your Targets, your Krogers, your Publix, your Winn-Dixies. And hospitality would be pretty much like fast food or bakeries or, a lot of food service. And I don't blame people for this. That's where like the shittiest customers are. It's mostly customer service jobs, it sounds like. And yeah, I don't blame people for leaving these jobs. They get paid low wages to get shit on by customers who are fucking assholes. And here's the thing, right? I can relate with this because I just put my 2 weeks in on Monday, so a couple days ago, to my job to go move to another job, which is the same industry, but the difference is the job I'm leaving, they cut hours, they pay very low compared to anywhere else around here, and yet they still feel very, very entitled to my labor now that I'm leaving. Luckily, they haven't really said anything directly to me about it, but they've said stuff to other people about me leaving.
For some folks. And so in some cases, people are quitting and they're not yet returning. They're taking a break. Americans are burnt out. I like to think of it as it's a take this job and shove it measure. It's just a sign of people saying, I don't need this.
Academics and economists are also connecting this phenomenon to COVID-19. The stress and burnout of working through a pandemic and the extreme fear and political polarization caused people to reevaluate their careers and lifestyle. They now want more flexibility, fewer hours, and higher wages. But some just don't want to work at all. With people quitting left and right, there has been an anti-work movement brewing. And unsurprisingly, Gen Z is leading the charge. As evidence, the anti-work subreddit is one of the fastest growing groups on the platform. Last fall, it only had 150,000 members. Now, it has over 1.6 million. They have the tagline, "Unemployment for all, not just the rich," and they call themselves the Idlers. These idlers largely believe that people should strive to work as little as possible and preferably for themselves.
So if you actually read the subreddit, yes, they do acknowledge some members are just lazy, but the term they bring up is saying we are anti-job is not quite right because a job is just an activity one is paid for, and we are not all against money. Anti-labor makes it sound like we're against any effort at all, and we already get that enough as it is. We're not, by the way. And then also they mentioned if you define work as an activity or purposeful intent towards some goal, then sure, society can't function. That's not how we define it, though. We're not against effort, labor, or being productive. We're against jobs as they are structured under capitalism and the state. against exploitative economic relations, against hierarchical social relations at the workplace. So what they are against isn't working. They're not anti-work. What they are against is exploitation. Like, for example, when the owner of Walmart doesn't do anything, when he gets to sit in his mansion all day and collect billions of dollars, meanwhile his employees who do all the work live in poverty, live in low-income housing, or are on food stamps. That's what they're against.
Many work as few hours as possible in part-time jobs in order to survive. Some take on roommates or raid dumpsters for food to reduce their cost of living.
Well, if you did any more research into this and weren't just trying to make a propaganda piece, you'd find that a lot of people there also have jobs, and they've talked about it. Full-time jobs. And they've talked about how they don't like their full-time job, and how shitty it is, and how shitty it is to be exploited by your full-time job. Some of them work salary, some of them work fast food. I've seen this. I've been in the subreddit. I get this is a propaganda piece. I get that the Daily Wire's audience don't work. They're either 13 or they're fucking 60, but fucking Christ, dude.
Seems like they're working awfully hard at not working. One idler was pushed over the edge and finally quit his job after his boss posted a sign telling workers they couldn't use their phones during shifts. And if they were caught with their phones, management could confiscate them.
Okay, well, also there's some fucking context that needs to be needed here that clearly they probably put in the post that you're fucking ignoring because you've only put the picture. You know, there's probably like a whole fucking title and everything on that Reddit post, and you just kind of crop that out and put the picture itself. You know, maybe there was an emergency and somebody needed to answer the phone. I know it says something about a landline with emergencies, but let's just be honest with ourselves. Those of us who actually, you know, work, especially those of us who do management at certain jobs, nobody answers the landline. Nobody does. Maybe every once in a while the landline will get answered, but for the most part, nobody answers the landline. Nobody fucking answers that. You know, and if somebody needs to reach you immediately, like for example, say you have a child, because I had some girl that worked at the store I work at before I was even in management that had problems with our manager bitching at her because, for example, her babysitter would call and say, hey, there's something going on with the kid because she had some issues, and she would need to answer right away. I'm sorry, but if you had called our fucking manager and said, hey, I need to speak to so-and-so, they say, yeah, I'll have so-and-so call you back. And then might not even say anything. So yeah, no, fuck your cell phone policy, dude. And it also depends. I mean, for example, we had a policy at my store come in after we slaved away during the pandemic, which said, hey, we could only wear one color type of mask. We couldn't wear any mask we want. We don't care that you've slaved away for us during a period which some people could have died. No. Wear a certain type of mask we like. I had a fucking Spider-Man mask that I paid money for that was just useless to me then. Because of this stupid fucking policy. Yes, these policies a lot of times are fucking stupid. Also, I'm gonna mention this because my work says this shit too. What kind of grown adult is just gonna let you just take their phone from them? Oh, there's green from my lock screen, but what kind of grown adult is gonna let you take their phone from them? I am a grown fucking man, bruh. If you physically try to steal my phone from me, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face. I'm gonna quit on the spot and punch you in your fucking face. Because I'm a grown fucking man. My fucking workplace doesn't follow through with that because that's what would happen if you do that to any fucking adults.
The movement can be traced back to the Marxist idea that humanity can and should evolve beyond the requirement that we work for a living. And that makes sense, considering that 64% of Gen Z would happily vote for a socialist candidate.
No fucking way. The generations that are currently working, right? Guys, hear me out. Hear this out, right? This is interesting. The generations that are currently working are more likely to vote for somebody who's gonna do more for workers than the generations who are retired. I know, dude. Surprising fact. It's almost as if the whole concept of voting is to vote for your interests.
It can also be connected to the laying flat cultural movement that is spreading like wildfire in China among 20 to 30-year-olds. A movement that advocates for laying down instead of working hard. Sounds nice, huh?
I wake up not worrying about work, she says. Till this fall, Tang worked at a tech firm, part of China's rat race to push the country and herself ahead. But then she decided to what the Chinese call Tang Ping, or lie flat. Lying flat is about not comparing with others, but to yourself, she says. It's about developing your own path and following your heart.
However, the Chinese Communist Party is not thrilled with this new attitude, which they call Tang Ping. And in response, they've scrubbed their internet of all laying flat references and groups, and even deleted the original laying flat manifesto, which went viral last year. So what is causing this great resignation, and why is Gen Z so opposed to work? Well, psychologists have been warning employers about these sensitive and anti-capitalist attitudes for years as the world prepared for Gen Z to enter the workforce. However, COVID-19 and the government's enabling response to the pandemic has accelerated the problem.
There's a subreddit for this, and there's a Facebook group too. I know the Facebook group name. It's called This But From the Left. I don't remember the subreddit name. I think, was it Accidentally Left Wing? There was a Twitter for that too. But this is an example of that because, yeah, government response and corporate response is causing this. You know, the fact that, okay, here's an example, right? The company I work for, they were paying less people because they laid a lot of people off. They were getting more customers every fucking day. And they got $500,000 handout. They got $500,000 nearly from the U.S. government as the PPP loan that got forgiven back in March 2021. And they claim they still can't afford to pay people a living wage? Come on. Really? And before they even try to mention this, that extra $600 is fucking gone. And the time frame they listed off of late 2021, it was gone by then. Nobody is going home and sitting at home for like $200-$300, dude. Nobody is doing that. You can't live off of that. I guess maybe some people are doing that, but those type of people weren't the ones working full-time to support themselves already. At the end of the day, this is corporations and even, you could say, small business owners, I guess, but they don't pay people enough. They need to pay people more. Here's the thing, I'm so sick of these conservatives saying they're pro-free market. If you were pro-free market, you'd be making the same arguments. They need to pay people enough to incentivize them to work. They need to incentivize people to work. If you were a pro-free market, you would support all of this. This isn't government stepping in telling people, yeah, pay people more. This isn't government stepping in. This is what you claim to support, the free market. So how, when it's happening now, how are you now saying, oh, go back and slave for the corporations? How are you doing that? Oh, I know how you're doing that now, because you didn't genuinely believe in that. You didn't actually believe in that. You supported corporatism. You want the fucking corporations to have all the power. Because you're full of shit and you're a grifter.
People got comfortable during the lockdowns, and they learned that in many cases, they could make more money by relying on government-funded initiatives than returning to their jobs.
Yeah, no, bullshit. Here's the thing, right? I already brought this up. The $600 unemployment is gone. There's no extra $600. Trust me, like me, for example, I made $19,000 last year, still poverty wages, but if I go get unemployment, trust me, I can't fucking survive off that. It's gonna be $200-$300. Maybe not even that. A lot of people still not going to get a lot of money off of unemployment, at least something they can live off of. This is nonsense, dude. I get there's still some COVID stuff, like for example, I pay $25 on my internet a month instead of $75 because of some sort of COVID thing. Okay, but that has nothing to do with obviously people working. Here, like, there's not that many anti-work things. For example, I'm moving out of my apartment next month, but in like a couple of days, because I got fucking COVID, and there was nothing I could do. Nothing I could do to supplement my income after I got COVID. Nothing. So it's like, no, you're full of shit, dude. And I'm so sick of people bitching about the unemployment. Like, when it was around, I'm so sick of fucking business owners bitching about it. Pay more! $600 every 2 weeks is not a lot of money. It's not. I make that much. That's poverty wages.
And still today, many continue to collect unemployment benefits rather than returning to work. It's a trend that's become so commonplace that even Elon Musk jumped in with a statement when he appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast.
This notion, though, that you can just sort of send checks out to everybody and things will be fine is not true.
Wow! The billionaire who doesn't do anything, who doesn't actually work, has a fucking opinion on this. The billionaire is upset about people collecting what is the same thing as poverty wages from the government. Wow. Wow. What shock there, dude? The guy who barely pays taxes. In fact, I think he paid like a lot less in taxes than the average fucking American is mad about what we do with our tax dollars?
Musk asserts that many wrongly believe that the economy is a cornucopia where goods and services will simply appear, leading individuals to believe that they don't need to work or contribute to production. This interview was back in 2020. Not only have these attitudes continued, they even seem to be getting worse. FedEx reported that they are having to reroute some 600,000 packages a day due to operating with only 65% of needed staff. Schools are closing and turning back to remote learning due to a lack of teachers and administrators. Restaurants are moving to robot servers due to the shortage of food industry employees.
Yeah, I call bullshit on the last part. I have not once walked into a fast food restaurant or gone through the drive-thru, because keep in mind, you can see in the back. I don't really try to look, but you can see. I have not once seen a motherfucking robot making my food. And you know what? Here's the thing I want to bring up, right? Speaking of this, for years, capitalists have been saying, we're just going to automate the process if you guys want the wages rose. We're just going to automate the process. Okay, you can't find workers. Nobody wants to work for you. Bring in the robots. It's been 2 years. Where's the robots? Where are the robots? Is that because it'd be more expensive to put the robots in than raise people's wages? So instead, you run a fucking campaign to cry to the workers? You know what? No. Wendy's was the first company to start saying this shit. So here's what we're gonna fucking do, Wendy's. You provide the robots. I'll provide my $4 plus tax. And we will have that motherfucking robot make me a 4 for $4 with a chicken sandwich, some fries, some nuggets, actually use the spicy nuggets, and a fucking chicken sandwich, fries, nuggets, barbecue sauce, and a Dr. Pepper, okay? I challenge you, I want to see if that robot can do as good. Okay? I want to see that robot do that shit.
And as of December, the United States had 11 million job openings, which is close to an all-time record. So the problem is not the availability of jobs. It is the dramatically changing cultural attitudes towards work and productivity. And with the baby boomers retiring in throngs, the workforce is being left in the hands of millennials and Gen Z.
I'm not the problem, you're the problem. Here's the thing, right? If they would fucking incentivize people to come work, they would come work. And I don't mean some 15 an hour bullshit. Here's the thing, right? 15 an hour still isn't enough these days, honestly. Give them 20, offer 20 an hour. 20 an hour, benefits. Promote the benefits. 20 an hour with benefits. And treat them good. And let's see how many not employees, but how many job offers you'll get in like a week. One thing a lot of the people have mentioned in anti-work is some of them are currently looking for jobs. They're looking for something because they still have a little bit of hope. And they'll fucking apply for jobs that'll say, hey, we're paying this much an hour. And then they'd be like, oh, that's not the starting. You can get up to that amount. See, that's some fucking bullshit. Don't pull that shit. Be fucking transparent with people. And let's see how many fucking job offers. I want to experiment with this. If I had the money right now, I would experiment with a business myself with this. Some fucking business owner who's watching this going, if you have the capital, do this right now, and let's see if you get some fucking employees, huh? Alright, here's an example of this, right? The company I'm leaving right now, they they have a sign on their fucking door that says they will pay $12 an hour if you work full-time there. Now, we have somebody who started after that, who was sort of intrigued by that, but here's the thing, right? They won't give them full-time hours. So they're paying them $11 an hour. And not the 12 they advertise, because, it's not false advertising, they're just not giving them full-time hours. I'm sick of this shit. Fucking, yeah, if you're advertising 15 an hour, but you're not paying 15 an hour, of course people aren't going to go there. And if you're treating them like shit, what do you think your word of mouth is going to be? I've had people that are looking for jobs say, hey, how's it, like where you're at? I'm like, shit, don't go there. You think they want to go there? After I tell them all the shit I have to go through? After I tell them that the corporation that we work for doesn't give a shit about their employees? No! They'll want to go somewhere else. And I don't blame them.
And it is not looking great. To stay informed, go to dailywire.com. I'm Brett Cooper. Thanks for watching.
Okay, thank you, oddly hot Britt Cooper. You said Brett, right? Hope she didn't say Brett Cooper. But, anyways, leave a dislike. You can't do that. I mean, you can do it, but you could also write me a strongly worded letter that describes all your insecurities and your fears. But, either way, I won't give a shit. So I guess you might as well leave a like or just not leave anything at all, maybe a comment. And, yeah, Slimber out.